Welcome back to the Nerdcore podcast, the reviews of movies and talks that nerd shit. This is episode 350, and as always, it is your Saturday morning review, early and very early for the patrons on Thursday, and hello to the public on a Saturday. As always, it is the Nerd. You're gonna hear the whole show along with my wonderful co-host Young Yoda. I don't know if that video played or not. I couldn't hear it. Brad, could you hear it?
Which one are you talking about?
The one I just played right now.
Yeah, the everything that comes. Yes, that played.
Did you hear it?
Yeah, I heard it.
I couldn't hear it. That's so odd. But it's whatever. I mean, it's fine. I don't know. I don't know. If you heard it, that means they heard it. So it's fine.
Okay.
So yeah, man. How are you doing today?
Doing well. Took a day off from work, and basically played Minecraft all day.
Yep. Cool stuff, man. Yeah, I played Minecraft with you for a bit.
Cussed me out most of the time.
Yeah, I had to record an episode of Cinema Condition here. Just did our episode with Alex on Logan, and that's available for patrons at the $1 tier and above, and it's early for 6 days. So that's a good incentive right there.
Indeed.
Yeah, it was a pretty damn good conversation, man. I think this might be one of your favorites too, Brad.
I mean, I love Logan, so I know Alex knows his shit, so I'm not too concerned on that. So I'm sure it was a great episode.
I don't think I've had anybody on that show who doesn't know what they're talking about. So
I mean, like I fake it pretty well. So
shut up, Brad. Except for there was a point in Grave of the Fireflies where I was kind of bringing up some stuff, and you're like, yeah.
Yeah. And
you're just like, I really don't know how to go on from that.
I don't know what you want me to say other than I agree.
Yeah.
Sir?
Yeah. Well, we still got one more with you. And we're gonna do the farewell. So that's gonna be that's gonna be interesting.
That's gonna be me crying and blubbering and going, Grandma.
Yeah. So yeah, man. And today's a Saturday, but this is recorded on a Thursday. For everybody else,
because I won't be here on Friday.
You're not gonna be here on Friday. You're not gonna be here on Saturday either. So cool. But Brad said he when he comes back from helping his dad, he'll be on what's it called?
For sure. I ain't going away unless
the
we're
thing
always
is,
like,
Brad, you do know the time that we end the live show, right? Like we end around like 10 o'clock, 10:30 Central Time, which is 8:30 Eastern. What time are you getting back?
Not Eastern.
Sorry, Pacific.
Yeah.
Time.
I don't know. That's the issue. Is where I have to go with my dad is like 4 hours away.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have to help him at his other property, so I have to do that, and then we have to come back.
Yeah. So if I see you streaming at 8:35, I'm gonna be pissed. That must have meant that you were at the house by 8:20 or 8:10.
You know, honestly, if I get back that late, I probably just won't get on because I'll be tired as shit.
But still, like, if you're like, are you guys almost done? I want to stream. I'm gonna be pissed.
Guys, you need to get off. I got to do the Minecraft.
No,
I got to do the Minecraft.
Yeah, but in case you haven't listened to the other episodes before, but yes, Michelle will be, she will be subbing in for Brad, and we're gonna be doing live show still. So
what's gonna be the topic? You know yet?
Tomorrow is the Oscars being postponed.
Oh, I'm glad I'm gonna miss that though, because I could.
Yeah, but the thing is that I think you would have some good conversations because good input in that because all the movies that are gonna be. So since the period that the movies qualify for are being extended, that means a lot of really early movies are probably gonna be ignored.
That sucks.
That really sucks. So I would have probably liked your input on that, but
if only they could have done that to the Green Book.
So yeah, we're gonna talk about that. Also, what's it called? Zack Snyder posted not Zack Snyder, Aquaman himself, Jason Momoa posted the first teaser to Zack Snyder's Justice League, and we also got.
Let me just get this out there. I'd honestly why aren't they posting more on like the second Aquaman and they're just going to Zack? They're all. This is probably
Because the second Aquaman hasn't started filming.
Yeah, I know, but this is probably the thing. HBO Max has put so much fucking money into this Zack Snyder. They put all their chips into this. Let's be fair here. They have put so much money into this to finish this. To put the visuals up.
Write it out, but
yeah,
we're gonna talk more about
so that's what we're getting right now. We're getting, and do you think this means a second Justice League if this goes well from Zack Snyder that just goes straight to HBO Max?
Like I said, I wouldn't mind seeing movies only for HBO Max, but I want to talk more about this tomorrow. You're not gonna be here, so
fine. Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me, bro.
Don't talk to
it's fine.
All right, but we're here to discuss a movie, man. We're here to discuss. Wow, I mean, what's it called? I said The Five Bloods was coming out this week, so I said, hey, let's skip the coin toss. We'll do it next week to find out what movies we're gonna watch. And I was
which
like,
I'm kind of glad we did. This was a very interesting one. This was a different take on a war movie in my eyes.
Yeah, this is going to be a really good conversation. So I really recommend for those of y'all who have never seen the movie to still listen. And I know you're going to get spoilers, but it sucks. But I think this is a really interesting conversation. But if you don't care, but you do care about spoilers, kind of just come back to this after you watch the movie. And please listen to this because I think Brad and I are about to have a really interesting conversation. But that means that your spoiler warning is in effect in a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, man, from our trusted source of Wikipedia, right, Brad?
Our only source. What are you talking about? The only source we know.
Yep. The Five Bloods is a 2020 American war drama film directed by Spike Lee, along with Lee. The film was produced by John Killick, Beatrice Levin, and Lloyd Levin. The film stars Delroy Lindo. What a performance from Delroy Lindo.
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan Majors, Clark Peters, Norm Lewis, Isaiah Whitlock Jr., Melanie Thierry, Paul Walter Hauser, Jasper. Wow, do not know how to pronounce
Pakonin.
There
you go.
Pakonin. John Renault and Chadwick Boseman. The plot follows a group of aging Vietnam War veterans who return to the country in search of the remains of their fallen commander, as well as the treasure they buried while serving there. Originally written by Danny Bilson and Paul DeMeo in 2013, the script was reworked by Lee and Kelvin Wilmot. Following the pair's Black Klansman 2018, the cast joined in February 2019, and filming began a month later, lasting through June and taking place in Southeast Asia. With a production budget of 35 to 45 million, it is among Lee's most expensive films.
That doesn't surprise
Netflix
me.
digitally released The Five Bloods worldwide on June 12, 2020. Brad, do you think a lot of that was to pay for the archival footage that they probably had to get?
Yeah, probably. There was a shit ton of archival footage in this.
Yeah. So, wow. I mean, where to start? I absolutely love this movie. It's crazy how Spike really makes these really long movies that have some flaws in them.
It was a very long movie.
Yeah.
Let's get that straight out.
Yeah.
One of probably both our gripes is it was just a really long movie. It was 2
Yeah.
hours and 35 minutes, if I remember right.
Yeah, 2 hours and 35 minutes. It's crazy how he can make these movies that are, have flaws in them.
Mm-hmm.
But damn, do they end up being really impactful?
I mean, this had a lot of different messages intertwined in it based on, race relations, war, the Vietnam War. It had just a shit ton of messaging within it and what Spike Lee was trying to deliver.
Yeah. I want to start off first by saying I love the chemistry with the actual Five Bloods.
Oh, they're good.
Delroy Lindo, Jonathan Majors, who plays the son of Delroy Lindo, Clark Peters, Norm Lewis, Isaiah Whitlock Jr., and what's it called? Chadwick Boseman in the flashbacks.
Yeah,
And of
and
course,
Chadwick Boseman in as many minutes as they give him, which
yeah.
isn't a lot.
And I also like Johnny Tree Wen. Johnny Tree Wen, who
Oh
plays
yeah,
Vin.
yeah, great.
Yeah.
Great job. And I just have to throw out there, it's very interesting the way Spike did this in using when he did the flashbacks, all of the actors were themselves and their respective older age.
Yeah.
Which that's something I haven't seen before. So that was very new.
Like the what's it called? The younger actors coming in and like, okay, replace them. What's it called? But I guess it's to put you more in the idea of like these are actual soldiers who are going back to this time.
Yeah,
and it's not imagining themselves when they were younger, but actually going back and reliving these moments as if it were like PTSD episodes.
Well, and I think this is what really a main focus of it is the Delroy Lindo's Paul character, who has a ton of PTSD. He shows it off when he's on the boat, and he keeps seeing Chadwick Boseman's character everywhere. And it's just really powerful in that you see like he's just crushed at the fact, and spoiler alert, we did spoiler alert, right?
Yeah, we did spoiler alert.
Okay. He's just crushed at the fact that he accidentally shot Chadwick Boseman, and he's been carrying that around for him until that almost the very end of this movie where he's told it's okay, it was an accident, I forgive you.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the movies that one of the most accurate portrayals of PTSD, dude. And I mean, like, this is one of the most interesting and most accurate, and just I mean, just you really are kind of analyzing the whole, what happens after war ends, and and I love that they keep bringing up that Marvin Gaye song where it's like war is hell, and it's like it's kind of what all these movies that we've seen from of war,
well,
and all that it comes back to, it's that war is freaking hell, man.
And for most soldiers, it's never ending. They always carry that with them in some form. Be it bad knees, be it hurt legs, be it debt that they just from drinking. This shows that PTSD is real, and we need to respect that when you need help, you have to ask for help.
Yeah. But it's also a really interesting film that kind of gives you a look into the Black experience when they came back from war. And it shows that, their country really did, they were so dead set on sending them out to fight this war. But when they came back, they still, they didn't get the respect or the rights that, that they hoped that they could get. And it's that that your country is able to use you, and then when you come back home, you're once again still discriminated against, even if you're one of the most bravest people who are able to put their lives on the line for your country.
Well, and I found some of the most interesting scenes was the propaganda by the Vietnamese Hanoi Hannah, mostly on the radio, where she's directly speaking to the Black GIs, and she's saying, look, she talked about the time Martin Luther King was shot, and how even though they're 11% of the population, they're 35% of the soldiers fighting in the war. So she keeps bringing this stuff up where she's not wrong. Those are statistics. Those are correct statistics and everything. And you get that scene where Chadwick Boseman basically has to tell them, don't let them use your rage against you. Know what you're fighting for. Yeah.
And I love that, they kind of reference that, Chadwick Boseman was educating them so much. Like he was teaching them more about Black history and, kind of leading them to being these, revolutionaries. But at the end of the day, like they still had something to do there in Vietnam, and they had to finish this, this mission of theirs. And I'm saying all these things I love, but, one of my favorite things about this movie, it's how he started with the interview with Muhammad Ali. The famous no Viet Cong ever called me the N-word, right? And that just in all the use of archival footage is absolutely masterful, man.
Well, and they bring that up further in the film that the Vietnamese didn't know the N-word until the white GIs taught them.
Yeah, exactly. And also like what's it called? Also the what's it called? I wanted to bring up. I love when you're mentioning the flashbacks too. I love that. He has in 16:9, 16:9 for the actual film, and then when you go to flashbacks, you're back to the 4:3.
Yeah, I noticed that too, where the screen would just close on in on you, and I thought that
Yeah,
was really interesting. It was didn't necessarily like it because
I think it would have
I
been.
like the wider look.
Yeah. Well, I think that it could have been transitioned a little better.
Yeah.
If you remember, one of the best things that we talk about Stalker is that sometimes it changes aspect ratio on you a little bit, and
Hmm.
that's because he kind of goes in through doors,
Yeah.
Tarkovsky, and like there's Tarkovsky. He's like, okay, here I can change the aspect ratio,
Yeah. So
and it
you
does
really
it a
have to
lot
be
easier as
careful.
well.
Yeah, you have to be really careful when you're doing that because it becomes really noticeable.
Yeah.
Like if it, I shouldn't notice that. Basically, is what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
But other than that, I mean, it was interesting to have those flashbacks. And I gotta say, for those of you who are listening and you're still you have not watched the movie, I mean, Spike doesn't hold back on what archival footage he uses.
Oh
I
no, no. They even do if you've the Rage Against the Machine's first album, he has
Yes,
that footage. Um
but he also has footage of dead infants on the floor with blood on them,
that
and
the one where the infant's face was just completely gone, that one.
yeah,
And he not only had that, but he like stayed on it. Like he
yeah,
wanted you to know what war caused.
yeah,
And here was a little Vietnamese baby with only half a face, and he
yeah.
stayed on that for like 10 seconds.
Yeah. And you know, I there's just so much about this movie that absolutely stands out to me. The score is amazing. I love the music.
Hmm.
Um, that I got to say, one of the most emotional moments in this movie is when they actually find the remains of Chadwick
Norman, Storm and Norman.
Norman. Yeah, Norman. When they find the remains of Norman, and just how you know Paul's the first one to break down, and everybody kind of breaks down with him, and they console him, and you really get that sense of brotherhood, even though Norman, what's it called, Paul, he is a Trump supporting black man. All the other guys are still able to kind of still band with him because they're his brother.
Yeah, the
They're
Five
his,
Bloods.
they're his blood, and they served in time together. And when they find those remains of Norman, they just all kind of console each other, and they all just hug each other. And David is able to be there too, while he consoles them.
Well, and I love how Spike, he kind of gives these instances, these glimpses of that Paul is sick. Like they
Yeah,
mention it a little bit in the film. He doesn't go into, but at the end, you realize this guy has cancer. He has some bad cancer, which could also be affecting his decision making, how he's treating people, what he's seeing, because he's seeing ghosts, he says, at night, which means he's probably not sleeping, which, you know, in the end causes him to do what he does.
yeah,
And I mean, you can tell his son suffers at that. Apparently, his son's been suffering his whole life because his mother died at childbirth, giving
yeah,
birth to him. And it's just a really sad story in that instance that this man, he has PTSD. He thinks the world's out to rob him.
yeah.
And on top of that, he has cancer. That's probably affecting his mind in some form.
I don't think there's a single character in this movie who isn't developed, because you have David, who he has his past. Hell, you even have the Vietnamese people that they meet in the river, and who the one is like, you killed my mother, my father, and
Hmm.
the Spike really puts this attention to
How
the
it affected the Vietnamese. It's
yeah,
and that's one thing I really, you don't get a lot of that in Vietnam War films. You don't get what we caused for the Vietnamese. Even
yeah,
them bringing up, we didn't have to go fight a war. We could have just sent Ronald McDonald and Colonel Sanders over there to freaking, make it a capitalist country, basically.
exactly. And it's those interesting parallels that you have between, like, once they actually leave Ho Chi Minh City, you know, you start seeing how Vietnam is still kind of lawless, man.
Oh,
You have these
it's still all forest area, and on top of that, I've never seen so many landmines blow someone up other than in a Rambo movie.
yeah. I gotta say, once again, that's another one. What, man? That when he blows up, what's it called? Not Otis. It was Eddie, when he blows up Eddie.
Yeah,
and
that
reminds-
and he doesn't shy away at showing you this man has no limbs. He is
Yeah.
a torso and a head.
Well, he wants to show you how, how this is it. This is what happened. And we have so many movies that shy away from showing what actually happened. We have Apocalypse Now, which absolutely shows the brutalities of war, of course. But this one is exclusively showing you the brutalities of war and the Black experience, man. And I think it's probably one of the most socially relevant movies that we can watch right now. I think that this was it's brutal to watch, especially in that second half. But like, it's just so important to see that, and just especially the way that that everybody at first, those people would have been like, the money really, like, we can divide it how we want, and then at the end, and towards the end, everybody's wanting to get a share of it.
Yeah, and they've all been put through hell for this amount of gold, and who knows who it actually belongs to. I think all of them were speaking truthfully. I think the Vietnamese had a right of saying, that's our gold, and then you had the Five Bloods who, they had a right to say that's their gold also, because they came to collect it. And but I liked how they, at the very end, they showed where that money went to. That money went to the one community that does landmines, LAM. It went to Black Lives Matter, and it went. Even Vin opened up a travel agency. So in the end, I think they did try to make it so they were helping their community in some form with the shares they had, and they ended up bringing their brother home.
Yeah. And that was beautiful to see that the remains went back to the family. And I gotta say, so I was gonna say, I want to see. I need to see Chadwick Boseman work with Spike Lee again.
I mean, yeah, I like to see Chadwick Boseman just work with anyone again.
Yeah, but holy crap, he was great in this, dude. And just that kind of power that came from what he was his speeches, telling them to the Five Bloods and the Four Bloods, and then what's it called? And then those dream sequences when Paul was seeing him, and it's just I can't believe somebody said that Chadwick Boseman doesn't know how to act. I was like, are you crazy? Like this was great. Was amazing.
Yeah. I also got to bring up that there were some shots in this. I don't know if it's just because it was set in the jungle and all that, but there were some shots in this that were very Kurosawa-esque to me. Where Paul is just, he basically, he just exploded and he starts walking in the forest. That reminds me of the mayor who went crazy and Yojimbo is pounding on the drum. When Paul is just basically, citing prayers or Bible verses or something to that effect. That's the instance I got reminding of that. The use of lighting in this, I mean, very Kurosawa-esque parts in this film.
Don't forget that Spike Lee is one of the earliest filmmakers, and he was also very influenced by Kurosawa's work. He's also a tenured professor at NYU, so I'm pretty sure he teaches Kurosawa in his movies.
Well, I don't doubt it. I just it's always nice to see that Kurosawa hasn't been forgotten in a way, especially in these modern movies.
I don't think we're gonna stop discussing this movie, man. I think we're gonna keep analyzing this movie for years to come, especially during these coming months and the year. I think we're gonna keep discussing this movie and what.
This was a spectacular. This was a spectacular time to release this movie. I'm just saying.
Yeah. It's just Mike knows when to put these things out, man. Like he released Black Klansman at probably one of the most important times that we had to watch that film, and he released this one now at like one of the most important times as well. I was gonna say, it sounds like we're just praising this movie. It does have some flaws for me. The transitions could have been done better between the aspect ratios.
There is pacing issues, but it is a 2 hour and 35-minute movie. So that's expected.
Also, I felt that the relationship with the daughter and Eddie,
that came off super
rushed.
Yeah, super rushed and not all the way, especially with the hug. I wasn't, even though there was tears and stuff from the daughter, it didn't like relate to me like the rest of the whole movie did.
I just think the delivery was a little bit rushed with that. I think that what's it called? I don't think it should have ended with a hug. I think it should have been something else. And but it's whatever, man. It's just those are just little minor gripes to me. But I still think this movie is absolutely fantastic.
Mhm.
It's my favorite movie so far of the year. I also haven't watched much, so it's
Well,
right now.
there hasn't been much released.
Yeah, it's right now. It's the Five Bloods, and we also and then the Invisible Man and Birds of Prey right now. So I love this movie. I'm gonna go ahead and give the Five Bloods a staggering 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed this. I think this is one of my favorite works from Spike Lee, and it's one of his most important movies that you get to watch. So I think if you're gonna watch movies from Spike Lee, you should definitely do the right thing. What's it called? Black Klansman, Malcolm X, but definitely throw this one in there. I think this is one of the most important movies he's made.
Oh, agreed. Wholeheartedly. Not quite my favorite movie of the year. It's up there.
Yeah, well, you've watched a lot more than I have.
Oh,
You got to watch way back and everything else.
Yeah, I watched Capone. So
Yeah.
I'd say Capone's just different in my eyes.
Yeah.
But for being one of those movies I walked into blindly, very satisfied. And again, like Raul said, we'll be talking about this one for years to come, just because it goes deep. It goes deep into a lot of topics, from how African Americans were treated in Vietnam to how the Vietnamese came out of Vietnam.
Yeah.
So that was very interesting to me. So I give the Five Bloods 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, I was gonna bring up that club scene, man. Wow. I just love the colors and the apocalypse now in the background.
Yeah, and the old dude's dancing. Like, yeah.
the old dude's dancing. Or when they get drunk at the bar. And David's just trying to flirt in peace and everything. And his dad and what's it called? And the
His
other guys are
uncle.
all drunk.
Yeah, Eddie gets drunk and shoots his mouth out about gold, but nobody fucking knows what that means.
So it's like, that guy's just crazy. Like, whatever. But yeah, I gotta say, yeah, and also the what's it called, just the humor in this movie too.
Oh, I love the whole back and forth with Jean Reno, the Frenchman, with Danny Bilson's character Paul and him, Darouche or Douche or whatever the fuck his name was, Roach.
Yeah,
but I thought those scenes were pretty hilarious in a way.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I could see these four men in another movie. Please, just give me more. Like, these four men together are absolutely gold, man. I want more of these guys together. Make a great comedy with these four guys. I think they could do it. It's fantastic, the chemistry they have. So yeah, man, that's been our review of the Five Bloods from Spike Lee, another Spike Lee joint from the great director. And I'm not surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody chooses this for season 2 of Cinema Condition, dude. I think this is going to be one that we're definitely going to be discussing a lot in the coming months and years.
This is one that what we're doing right now is just kind of on the surface review. This thing can go way deeper in Cinema Conditions.
Oh, definitely, dude, definitely. And so if you're hoping to check us out, you can find us at thenerdcore.com, and you can find podcasts, articles, social media, and what's it called? Also like our bios for all the people who are involved in the network. I just recently made an actual page for our blog post, so you don't actually have to go to thenerdcore.com and it takes you directly to it. I'm going to be fixing that. I need to make an actual homepage for our website. But right now we have an actual, blog page, and I think it looks pretty cool from how I organized it. So, you guys can go check that out, and it's in the menu and all that wonderful stuff. As always, you can find us at the Nerdcore_, and on Twitter at the Nerdcore, and on Instagram at the Nerdcore. Also, I want to give a shout out to those who help us out, financially with these shows through Patreon. You can become a patron at www.patreon.com/nerdcore. Patrons get not just this episode early, streamed and early, for 2 days. You also get, Cinema Condition early, days early. sometimes I'm able to record these episodes like a week or two in advance. And imagine you get to have the episode 2 weeks in advance before everybody else. I mean, that's pretty damn sweet. Brad, we have all these other stuff that we can do that we do on Patreon. So, go and help us out over there. And we thank you all so much for that. We got to shout out our producers. We have producers, our Cassie and Sarah are our associate producers.
Hey, can't you just pull up that page that you made?
Yeah, I can, but I mean that shows at the end.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but Cassie and Sarah are our executive associate producers. Our executive producers are Grayson Barker, who you can find at Warlord One Bar on Twitter, Grayson Barker 98 on Instagram. Also, we have Shane as our other executive producer. Brad, where can they find him?
You can follow our friend Shane at twitch.tv/SWRWK or on Twitter at SWRWK Twitch. Go follow him, please. And he's hustling out there.
Yeah, he's hustling, bro. We also have our Brown Rice 96 on both Instagram and Twitter. Thank you, Bryce, our $25 tier patron.
Bryce, my boo.
That's our boo, man. And then Real Nerdy Dad on Twitter. That is Tony. Hey, Tony. But yeah, thank you to all our patrons and those who help us out. And as always, it's been a lot of fun. And we'll be discussing Bone Tomahawk next week for Western Film Month. And we'll see what movies we do for Saturday morning. But in the meantime, it's been a wonderful, wonderful time. Bradley, send them out.
All right, Ro. Thank you, being host as always. Thank you to all our listeners out there, all our Patreon supporters. We appreciate each and every one of you. Thank to all those who watch and listen to us on Twitch and YouTube. We do appreciate that. Anyways, I guess I'll do the secret handshake to end this episode, and Young Yoda out.